like to call to order the Peabody Planning Board meeting. Agenda for Thursday, November 3rd, 2022, held at 7 p.m. Peabody City Hall, Wigan Auditorium, 24 Lowell Street, Peabody, Mass. At this time, I'd like to suspend the Planning Board meeting and enter into public hearing, definitive subdivision Westford Ave. Attorney representing.
Good evening. My name's Dave Ankeles, and I'm representing the applicant here. Very little to report. I'll be as brief as I possibly can. Over the last few weeks, the engineer and the people from Eastern Land Survey were able to meet with Bob Langley, and they have reviewed the list of items that Bob brought up. Okay. And they have reviewed the list of items that Bob brought up in his memo. They've come to agreement on that. We are awaiting the instruction from Bob as to who we're going to deal with regarding the peer review. He has not provided us with that information yet. As soon as he does, we'll begin that process. Other than that, there really isn't much to report. I had talked to a few of the abutters, and at one point in time they asked me to see if I could talk to some people in Lynn, and I promised that I would do that. And over the last week or so, I have talked to people who represent the abutting landowners in Lynn to see if we can find an alternative. Those discussions are ongoing. I really can't tell you that I've made any real progress, but I'm listening to these people and I'm trying to determine whether or not there is anything viable that I can do. I'll continue to keep my word, and I'll continue to make whatever efforts I can. I think the city planner, Mr. Levin, has asked me some questions relative to ownership of the roadway. And in response to that, rather than giving you a 2 or 3 hour lecture on ownership of the roadway and the rights of way within the roadway, I indicated to Mr. Levin that I would submit a formal memo outlining all rights in paper streets, roadways, traveled ways, and rights relative to those abutting on the way. I have nothing else to report. Thank you.
David White, so thank you for that. Beyond, in that memo, beyond just who owns that roadway, I think we would also like to see the planning board, community development, and the city as well, in there provide who has the legal ability, or show your client's ability, i.e. deeded rights, that he has the ability to improve and use that roadway. So
I think I did say that. I did say that, and that's going to be part of the memo, most definitely.
This time, are you asking for a continuance to the next meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I don't believe that, and I may not be, there may not be much to report unless Mr. Langley follows up with a peer review and with budgets on the peer review. We again don't know who we're going to be dealing with. And we don't know exactly what they're going to be looking for, and we're going to have to make arrangements to enter into an agreement with Mr. Langley to pay for that peer review. So we can't do too much until Mr. Langley gets back to us on that matter.
Any questions from the board? Attorney Avanitis?
Mr. Chairman, yeah, through the chair. David, I have a few questions about the proposed construction and installation of utilities. Can you tell me, and it should be apparent from the plan, but can you tell me how the current Peabody residents on Westford Road are now served with sewer, water, and other utilities in Westford Road?
Excuse me, I keep forgetting to press that button. I believe that they're all served by Peabody, and I believe that they're the one Lynn resident Actually, I think there are two Lynn residents. I'm not sure. Now, that this is part of the ongoing discussion with the people who represent the owners of land in Lynn, but I believe that there are two. There may be more than two whose homes are in Lynn who are serviced by Peabody Utilities.
Well, my question is, though, there are several, I think 3 homes in Peabody on Westford, that section of Westford which ends right where your section, the 22-foot section, starts. Is there sewer and water in Westford already, in Peabody, servicing those 3 or 4 lots?
Not that I know of. I believe there is water, Mr. Evan, Attorney Adavanitis, I believe there's a water that comes up Longwood, goes on Longwood Extension, serves that one house in Lynn, and I believe it's a 1-inch line, and I'm not too sure. Again, this is what we're trying to determine. That goes around, and there's some houses on Graves Road that one of the abutters directed me to look into. And I think, and I can't be sure, but I believe that there are 2 houses on Graves Road that are serviced by Peabody Water, and both of those houses are in Lynn. And then there's a 3rd house out in back that is now being worked on rehab. That has the ability to tie into that water. At least they told me that, and I haven't been able to confirm that. And this is all of the information I'm trying to find out.
So your developer is going to be bringing sewer, not just over the 22-foot section that you've spoken about, but all of Westford Road up to the line.
We would bring sewer, as the plan is laid out now, the sewer comes up Longwood. At the corner of Longwood and Westford, there is no longer, there's a house there at the corner, and then you go up Westford into the proposed development, water and sewer would go in there, yes.
So you're connecting to the existing sewer and water in Peabody and bringing it all along Westford into your new 5-lot subdivision, right?
That's correct.
So my next question is, during construction of those utilities and construction of the roadway, is any part of Westford Avenue going to be passable by the abutters?
To anybody that lives on Westford, and no one lives on Westford, somebody lives at the corner of Longwood in Westford, that first home it'll be passable, it'll be made passable. There is nobody else that lives on Westford.
I thought I had seen other lots on Westford shown on the plan, but,
There are lots there, but there are no homes on them.
okay. All right. And will the owners of those lots be able to use Westford Road while your subdivision is under construction?
Provision would be made for them, yes.
I can't envision constructing a roadway with sewer and water in it without basically disrupting the entire width of the road. That's not how it's going to happen.
I don't know how you envision it. I think it's possible. I constructed roadways for Campanelli for 6 years.
Okay, the only reason I'm asking is because I tend to agree with you that although...
Accommodations can be made.
Yeah, my understanding of the law, and I think it's consistent with what you've said, is that those persons with rights in that unconstructed road, those rights cannot be interfered with by the installation of utilities by another person who does have rights in the road.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, that's my question. Thank you.
Mr. Gagnon.
My concern is that at this point, we're looking at getting more information, talking to different people, coming up with maybe a compromise or different alternatives to this and so forth. We have the abutters here for the 3rd time. I mean, a continuance and another continuance and another continuance. It's a public hearing. Why can't we just vote on this tonight? I mean, I see the plans. I see what's in front of me. I know what my decision is. I don't know why we can't just vote on this tonight. And then because I think that the end result here might be different than what's before the board now because of all the talk and the people and negotiations and talking to attorneys and builders and developers and owners and abutters and so forth. That's just I just feel sorry for all the abutters that have to keep coming to these meetings, and it just gets continued.
Do you want my response?
You can. I was just kind of making a comment, but yes, go right ahead if it's okay with the chairman.
I think that this is a process. I think that you've asked us to make a presentation and to give you all of the information we possibly can. We're attempting to do that. We're attempting to respond to Mr. Langley from Public Services. We've spent time, energy, and money doing that. There's more information to come in. I have, in fact, talked with some of the abutters, Paul and some of the others, and he's asked me to go ahead and talk to people from land. I gave him my word that I would do that. I am doing that, and I'll continue to make every effort I can to keep my word. Until I have all the information that is available to me, I think it's incumbent, and the information that I can present to this board, I think it's incumbent on this board to listen and to consider that. I understand it's a long process. It's always been a long process in Peabody to get 2, 3, 4, 5 lots approved. Some of this has gone on, some of your projects have gone on for 2.5 years. We haven't been there that long, and we're making every effort we can to present you with all of the information that you have asked for. We spent money to do that, and I think you have an obligation to consider it. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
David, I apologize. Did you, the response from the city solicitors quite legalese? Did you say that you're going to be providing a layman's term explanation of that, kind of those couple case law and things that they've referenced?
What I could do is I could stand here and read to you and give you a lecture on paper streets, public roads, private roads, access, egress, ownership rights of abutters, etc. That could take an hour and a half, 2 hours, might even take a little bit more. And so what I proposed in my response to Andrew was that I'd be happy to sit down and not respond to that memo. That memo is, I don't want to characterize it, but the memo is incomplete at best. And it's more of a political statement than it is a legal opinion. And having done this for a long period of time, I've dealt with private roads, paper streets, public-private roads, etc. And I'm prepared to give you a thorough memorandum that will answer all of Andrew's questions and hopefully do so in a way that will explain all of the nuances or different aspects of what these paper streets, public roads, etc. are in a way that I think you can understand it. And I think that what I will attempt to do is give you as many citations as I can or a current case law. I'll try to give you as many cases as I can that cite Chapter 185, Chapter 180, I think it's 185, Section 7, that was cited in the Assistant City Solicitor's memo, and try to explain that to you also. In layman's terms, I don't think it's necessary to get into a lot of legalese. I think it's again something that you've asked for. I'm prepared to give you what you're asking for, and I kind of think you have an obligation to go into that and consider it.
Oh, I look forward to receiving it because it's tough to follow. I think I understand what it says, but I don't need a million case studies cited. I just wanted to explain to me in simple terms what we're talking about, because I think I understand it's not so much the ownership to the center line of the street, it's just the ability to use the street after it's developed. So I don't understand how putting utilities in a street prevents someone from using it in the future. So I would just like the paragraph explained. So I don't need some long memo or anything like that. Just look and understand specifically. But so I look forward to receiving.
I'll do it both ways.
Thank you.
Just for a logistics standpoint, if you do so choose to ask for a continuance this evening, would you look to maybe look for our December 1st meeting or go out further?
I think it needs to go out further, to be honest with you, because I don't know how quickly everything that we do is dependent upon how quickly Mr. Langley responds and gives us some direction, Andrew. So I think it might need to go out further, given the way things have gone in the past.
We have one meeting in December. The next meeting would be January. We have not been set yet, but I would just say, for a logistics standpoint, why don't you go to December 7th? That's a week past our meeting, just in case we can't meet. Improve action 2, and then at that meeting, if you need so choose to ask for a continuance again, we could decide, because we'll know our 2023 dates at that point.
I was going to suggest the middle of January myself, because we are early in the game here. We are waiting. You don't even have a third-party reviewer yet, correct?
Correct.
So once that's determined, then we have to wait for their report. So I don't think the middle of January is out of line for an extension. Just my opinion.
I concur.
I agree.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Sure. I'm doing my job. I would like a raise for my job.
We're not getting a damn thing out of this. Lynn's the one making the money. Scott, get real here, will ya? What's he gonna do, come back again for another continuance in 2 months?
Mr. Chairman, in the matter of Westford Ave, I would move to allow the petitioner to extend time until January 15th of 2023.
Second.
A roll call, please.
Attorney Aravantes,
Yes.
Mr. Roy Simons,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Gannon,
Yes.
Mr. John Ford,
Yes.
Mr. Dennis Feld, Mr. Matthew Genzel.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
It's okay.
Dr. Judith Otto,
Yes.
Attorney Diane Cooper, absent. Mr. Thomas Betancourt, and Attorney Mark Perlman.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. This time, I'd like to return to the regular meeting of the Planning Board. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of September 15th. I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the minutes of the meeting of the board of September 15th, 2022.
Second.
Second, Dr. Otto. All those in favor?
Aye.
Please put me down as present, because I was not at that meeting.
Mrs. Samos is present. Thank you. Motion carries. A&R and Land Court, 3032 Swampscott Ave, Lot 104, Parcel 184, 184A. This is an application by Rich Girolamo seeking endorsement of a plan through the required approval on the rules and regulations of subdivision of land. The applicant is proposing to moved to a northerly sideline of 32 Swampscott Ave, 28.5 feet north, creating 4,793 square feet, parcel A, and 4,086 square feet, parcel B, 30 Swampscott Ave, to review the plans, corresponding documents for this agenda. The item, please contact Andrew Levine at Peabody City Hall. Proponent?
Mr. Chairman, if I will, at the last meeting, there was discussion brought up along about this A&R plan and if the planning board has the ability to approve this, seeing as it showed deficiencies in zoning, and that question was raised. In doing research on this item, the planning board does have the ability to approve a A&R approval not required Form A if there is deficiencies shown, as long as all proposed lots have required zoning frontage either on public ways, which this does, as well as the right frontage. So lot size does not matter as long as it has the frontage and it has the frontage on a public way. The planning board does have the ability to endorse a plan with zoning deficiencies as long as the board does note on the registered plan and the voted plan that this does not endorse zoning conformance. I have the legal case here and information if anybody would like to see it further, but that is the research that I did do and did find that this board does have that ability to endorse this plan.
Do we have any questions from the board? If no questions from the board, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move approval of an A&R plan of land in Peabody, Mass, prepared for who? Gerolman, LP, and CA Life Estate, 3032 Swampscott Ave. Moving a property line northerly, combining parcel C with parcel A. Further, the planning board makes no determination on compliance with zoning.
You have a second?
Second. Attorney Arvanites?
Arvanitis.
I'm sorry?
Arvanitis.
Arvanites.
That was a pretty good try, though. Yes.
Mr. Roy Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Gannon?
Yes.
Mr. John Ford?
Yes.
Mr. Dennis Feld? Mr. Matthew Genzel?
Genzali.
Genzali? Dr. Judith Otto?
Yes.
Diane's not here. Mr. Thomas Betancourt?
Last. Next.
Oh, Mr. Mark Perlman?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas Betancourt?
Yes. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
But you're a soft talker, huh?
Yeah, sorry.
Next order of business is 55 Pulaski Street, map 53, lot 029.
Mr. Chairman, we received a letter of request asking for a continuance from Attorney Kelty on 190 Rare Newbury Street. It was handed in your packet. I can tell you, though, as an update, I do know that William Politz has been reviewing revised plans that were submitted to his office. He is working with their engineer on getting a final memo out to us on this project, but I will tell you that DPW is reviewing said plans at the moment and in discussions with the applicant.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to receive a letter from Attorney John Kelty in regards to 55 Pulaski Street dated November 3rd, requesting an extension of time until the November 17th meeting.
Second.
Second, Dr. Otto. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. We have appointments, none.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. I was in the middle of something else there. 190 Rare Newbury is what I was just chatting about. 55 Pulaski, which we did just vote on, also did provide a letter of request asking for a continuance, as did 190 Rare Newbury. So we have a motion to continue we have a condition, we have a motion to continue 55 Pulaski, which the board has approved. The other request for continuance was 190 Rare Newbury.
Mr. Chairman, I move to receive a letter from Jack Kelty, attorney at law, representing 190 Newbury Street. Date on the correspondence is November 3rd. And he's requesting an extension of time to act until the November 17th meeting of the planning board. Move to receive and grant said extension.
We have a second.
Second.
Dr. Otto, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Other matters properly before the board?
Yes. I think I had mentioned this at a previous meeting. I will be sending out on Monday to review. I would love the planning board to look at reviewing and revising our current fee schedule in regards to site plan review. At current, it's $100 for a site plan review to be filed, when many of these projects coming before the board are worth 100 times that, if not 1,000 times. Yeah, 10,000 times what our current fee structure is. So I've been doing research on some different communities. I will provide the board with this information, and I will add it to our agenda to discuss at the next meeting.
Thank you, Andrew. Any other matters before the board? At this time, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Chairman, move to adjourn.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Again, thank you all.